Shribalirvacha Swagatam te namastobhyam Brahmam kim kuruvamate Brahmashinam tapasaksha Manne tvarya vapurdharam. Bali Maharaj then said to Lord Vamandeva, O Brahman, I offer my hearty welcome and my respectful obeisances. Please let me know what we may do for you. We think of you as a personified austerity of the great Brahmana sages. So there is big discussion today, and the topic for discussion is Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya. Correct translation? So this is when Shukracharya asked Bali Maharaj, the Vamandeva asked Bali Maharaj, give me 3 steps of land. There were many meaning to it. It is not just, Lord does many things with that one step. There was no need for Vamandeva to beg. He could have just snatched. There was no need for Vishnu to please give me. There is no. He could have just snatched away. Or he could have come as Vishnu form and Bali Maharaj would have just given away. But still, he has made an intention, because Aditi prayed to Krishna. He made the intention that yes, I'll take this property and give it to the Devatas. And now he's thinking how to do it. Bhagavad Gita also, when Arjuna was refusing to fight, Krishna says, Karmanam na eva limpanti. Karmas do not affect me. What are the exact words? Na karmani limpanti. So all the karmas do not have any effect on Krishna. So he could have done anything actually. But Krishna is very careful to do things in such a way that it sets a good example. And then the people get inspiration. Now, where he is coming to Bali Maharaj, and he asks for only 3 steps of land, that will happen in the next chapter. Why does he ask only for 3 steps of land? It is Yukta Vairagya. Okay? So let us just understand the Yukta Vairagya principle. This is a very famous shloka. There are 2 shlokas which are very famous. Hare Krishna Mataji. There are 2 shlokas which are very famous as far as the Yukta Vairagya is concerned. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastunaha mumukshibi parityago vairagyam falgum uchyate. It's a very famous verse. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastunaha. So Prabhupada says, hari sambandhi vastuna, something I can use for Krishna and I am seeing it as material. Mumukshipi parityago vairagyam falgyochate. This can be connected to Krishna's service, and I am not connecting to Krishna's service, then it is Falgu Vairagya. The Vairagya is useless. Just like I will not use laptop, I will not use car, I will walk on the road. That is Falgu Vairagya. Prabhupada said, let them walk. Let them walk. We will quickly fly around and finish the preaching. So there is called Vairagyam Falgu. This is a very famous verse. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastunaha mumukshubi parityago Vairagyam Falgu muchyate. And there is another verse which comes. I have none. Okay. There's one more verse comes. What is the other? Yukta Vairagya Uchyate. Mande Yukta Vairagya Uchyate. How does it start? Prapanchikadaya. That is what is the other one. It is called Yukta Vairagya. There is one Falgu Vairagya. Anasakta se Vishayan Yatharam Upayanjatam. So there are two verses that composed by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. They explain how to be connected. If something can be engaged in the Krishna service, it should be engaged. That is called Yukta Vairagya. And something can be engaged in Krishna service, you don't engage, that is called Falgu Vairagya. So this is actually sets the term for this Yukta and Falgu Vairagya. And this leads to something which is known as simple living and high thinking. This is the philosophy of the devotees. Live simple and think high. If I am the whole human civilization today is overly absorbed in collecting things which are actually not necessary. People are collecting things, the torches on Prabhuji. People are collecting things which are actually not necessary. That is what is happening to the society. And so much energy is wasted. Youngsters want to collect some gadgets, each costs so much money. And then in the society also, so much energy is spent in creating so many unnecessary items. One can live a simple life. Just like I met somebody who was a youngster, a 20-year-old. So I said, Sunday, why don't you come to temple? No, Sunday I go all the way to meet some uncle and I wash my clothes there. No, he is a youngster, 20-year-old. He can do that. Correct? This is not Yukta Vairagya. So Yukta Vairagya basically means that we keep our life simple and do not waste in any way time in things which are unnecessary. Actually, modern civilization is a civilization of wasting time. People create unnecessary items. We have that example we were in one college giving the example of Brahmachari and the rat. How one by one the person kept increasing instead of solving the problem, he was increasing his problem. Okay. That's here also, yesterday also the same meditation the sannyasi was having. That we think it is solved, but actually the problem is increasing step by step. Our problem is increased. It becomes bigger. The problem increases. Okay? So simple living, high thinking is what our devotee practices. Particularly Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, simple living, high thinking. He does not accumulate anything unnecessary. So it is very difficult to draw the line. What can be used to engage, what cannot be engaged. So the process is very careful. Can I convert? Yukta Vairagya means everything can be engaged in Krishna service. But do we have the power? We should be very, very careful. Can I do that? Okay, I am thinking I can convert it into spirit. But then, does it disturb my consciousness? We have to see what is possible within my means, what is my capacity. We can convert matter to spirit according to our capacity. If it is beyond my capacity, I cannot convert matter to spirit. That's the Yukta Vairagya. Simple living, high thinking. Okay. So then there is another verse from Bhagavad Gita. There are two beautiful verses which also illustrate this point. It's a Yukta Hara Viharasya Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu Yukta Swapnasya Bodhasya Yoga Bhavati Dukkaha. He is temperate in his habits of eating, sleeping, working, recreation, can mitigate all mental pain and practicing the yoga system. So temperate in the habit of eating, not more, not less. Okay? Then sleeping, not more, not less. Temperate. Working and recreation. Okay? Recreation basically means that not any kind of sense gratification. So all these these principles have to be in moderation. Recreation doesn't mean moderation of sinful activities. There is no moderation of sinful activities. Sinful activities have to be given up. Correct? That is no. But as far as we have a material body, the body has to be maintained, and there it has to be minimum. That has to be in moderation. This is the Shri Shri Radha Govinda ki. So this verse makes it very clear. Kamasya nendriya priti labha jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jigyasa nartos chese karma vihi. This is a beautiful verse. So human life should not be focused upon kamasya nendriya priti. The focus of human life is not to enjoy the senses. Kamasya, that is not the focus. Labha jiveta yavata, just self-preservation. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. The human life, we save all energy. We are saving all energy for tattva jigyasa. That's human life. Okay? Mostly what is happening? People are wasting their time in different kind of unwanted habits. But a devotee, what is the difference between him? He is focusing. His focus is there to save time for self-realization. We are saving time for what? It's like when you go on the road, people are driving very fast. They are saving time for what? They want to enjoy after that. Enjoy the senses. They are so much hurry to go to hell. So much hurry. And devotee is waiting to go to Krishna. That's all difference. And they are fit to go to hell. Because the only thing they know is sense gratification. And the modern civilization is expand sense gratification. So how does the devotee do? On one side, devotee can live without all the amenities created by the scientist. Therefore, Prabhupada created the farm communities. Devotee can live without everything. It's not that car is not there, we will die. We can walk. So devotee can live without all the facilities created by this so-called scientist. He can very peacefully live. But at the same time, he can engage them in Krishna's service. Prabhupada said that's our mercy. In the sense that these things belong to Krishna. Hari Sambandhi Vastuna. All these things have a connection to Krishna. I can use it for Krishna's service. And generally in the society, they are neglected. Okay? So this principle is very important. That everything gets engaged in Krishna's service. And we live just a simple life. And then what happens? So much energy develops. Because everything takes away my energy, saps. So much my mind is absorbed in so many kind of unwanted things. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. When the same mind is engaged in tattva jigyasa and my whole energy is used to serve Krishna, then it is so wonderful. Okay, so this is an example given by Vaman Deva. He could have asked, give me the planet, he could have given. In fact, now when he says, give me 3 steps of land, Bali Maharaj says, what are you asking? You're a small child, looks like. You should ask me more. You don't ask anything anywhere. So immediately what he says, oh, I know so many people. And these people own so much actually. These kings owned so many things, but then they died. Everything is lost. And they were never satisfied. So what is the point? If I am not satisfied by 3 steps of land, I will not be satisfied by anything. So as far as our personal self, devotee keeps a very simple life. But as far as service to Krishna, he wants to expand more. It's like devotees tell Prabhupada, we distributed so many books. So Prabhupada said, double it. For Krishna, more. For ourselves, basic. That shows a mark of a devotee. A devotee therefore lives a very simple life and just focused. He is not in fact Prabhupada used to say, my Guru Maharaj used to get very perturbed when somebody is becoming fat. Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada used to say, very dangerous. Why is the sadhu becoming fat? Okay? It's not good. So similarly, there is an example, the Prahlad Maharaj meets a Paramahamsa. There it was the Paramahamsa was lying. He was the incarnation of Dattatreya, who was lying in a totally fat, lying like a Ajagar Vritti. So that's a separate situation. But generally a devotee should be thin, it should be simple. Why is he eating more than is needed? He should eat what is needed. But at the same time, he eats so less he cannot do service. That is also wrong. Then sleeping. Why the devotee keeps simply sleeping all day? At the same time, he is sleeping so less that class time he is getting sleep. That is also not correct. Correct? That is also not correct. That should be fresh. Okay. So one should desire only healthy life of self. So one should not be desirous. Kama sanendriya priti. One should not be desiring sense gratification. One should be desiring only a healthy life. For what he is desiring a healthy life? To tattva jigyasa. Jivasa tattva jigyasa na artho chese karma vihi. Not for economic development. That's very nice. He is not desiring anything else. Desiring a healthy life. Eat to live or live to eat. So he just eat to live. He's just having some basic, and so that he can whole energy can be focused in service to Krishna. So Vamanadeva, by asking 3 steps of land, true, he will do something funny with the 3 steps of land, but by asking 3 steps of land, he is making a very good example for us for renunciation. Yeah, that's minimum. At the same time, where something can be used for Krishna's service, you don't do it. That is also not correct. Okay, so he did not ask for nothing. He asked for 3 steps of land. He said that is enough for a brahmachari to sit down. In the 3 steps of land, he can make a small cottage. I can sit. That's it. 3 feet by 3 feet. That is enough for him. He can have a small cottage and he can sit and practice Krishna consciousness. That's all he wanted. Okay, so in this example, we have a tremendous inspiration. And according to the capacity also we should do Vairagya. Just like we know the example of the Goswamis. And their Vairagya was different. If you do like that, Prabhupada says in Mayapur, if you would have built only a cottage or only some trees are there, and Goswami is just sitting below the trees, and that's enough for them. But it's not enough for us. We will not be. Prabhupada said, who will come? Prabhupada laughs. In fact, there are a lot of devotees are sitting. Prabhupada said, okay. But once somebody said, Prabhupada, but many devotees, you were doing Kirtan below Thompson Square Park. And so many people came. So Prabhupada looked at the devotee and said, you didn't come. Maybe he came. So that's a nice principle. The principle is that actually, for public mass to come to Krishna consciousness, we have to develop a facility, because people cannot take up the austerity of the Goswamis and practice Krishna consciousness. It will not be possible for them. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki.